Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. From the grave. Well, firstly, the channel is Kim Iverson, 704,000 subscribers. I'm not one. I don't really. It's probably not my vibe or show, to be honest. It's just I passed this, and she's the person who I've decided to listen to on this topic. But I might be subscribed at the end. I've liked the video anyway, but we'll see how it goes. So, From the Grave is the name of the video. Virginia Giuffre, I can't say that name. Names Israeli PM as her Epstein abuser is the name of the video. So, this is the girl pictured with Prince Andrew in the infamous picture at Epstein Island with a young blonde. This is that young blonde, I believe. And she's now dead. Apparently, I don't know. I think it says early on in this she killed herself, which I'm very. I'll maybe have a look into that, to be honest, because that's very suspicious with who she is and what she knew. Um, this book has only just been released apparently, and well, I'll play a bit of the video and just I think the woman's going to tell you pretty much all the things I'm telling you there, so we might as well let her tell you now, and we'll discuss some of the information involved here. But it's not good, but I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised at all. So as you can tell by the title, the name's Israeli PM as her Epstein abuser. Now it's not Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, it's a former Israeli PM. Obviously, this was many moons ago when all this was going on with her. Anyway, this still goes on in the background, definitely. This is part of the cover up. It's being covered up still because this still goes on. And all the Israeli PM here, I mean, I don't think people can grasp the level of this paedophile ring. And again, I've said before, Jimmy Savile, Epstein, these were low level people in this paedophile ring, low level. More the getter of children than the abusers of children. They still abuse the children, as we know, with Jimmy Savile. But from what I know, he was a getter of children, and so was Epstein, as we know. So this goes real high. I mean, this goes right to the top. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people at the top involved in this. And this is partly why you have never had the Epstein files, because the names in that Epstein files will shock the world. Um, so this is where we are. But this woman's wrote a book. She's apparently killed herself, which I don't believe, to be honest. But the book's come out anyway, and again, there's a lot of names not named in here. It just says Billionaire 1, Billionaire 2, Billionaire 3. But I mean, anybody who knows what's really going on here knows that they're all involved in this. All the prime ministers, the English prime ministers, you name it, everyone's involved. This is kind of how they get them to play the ball as well. Like if you don't play a ball, we'll expose what you like. We've got photos of you doing all these things, and this is kind of how they keep control as well. So let's hear a bit of this. It's not very nice, by the way. I'll give you a warning beforehand.
Virginia Giuffre's new book has just dropped today, and it is atrocious, the details that she has in this book. Virginia Giuffre passed away in April of a suicide, supposed suicide, maybe an actual suicide. It's unclear.
I mean, I honestly find that massively suspicious. Again, this is what they do. They kill people and make it look like suicides. It's been done for a long time. Dead people can't talk, and again, she's named Billionaire 1, Billionaire 2, Billionaire 3 in the book, but inside this little head of hers, she knows who these billionaires are, and should she be questioned after the release of this book, maybe something could be slipped. So, in my opinion, I'd be very surprised if this woman took her own life, to be honest. I'd be very surprised. I know she's been through a lot, and she's been through a lot of trauma, but she seemed to be going through it and writing a book, and she wanted some form of justice in some way. So I would be very honestly. That needs looked into. That massively needs looked into her death. But honestly, I can't think of a death I would more look into, to be honest.
However, her new book, Nobody's Girl, dropped today. She had insisted before her death that this book came out no matter what happens to her. She wanted this book published. It is now published, and the details in it are disgusting.
No matter what happened to her, she wanted this book published. So did she expect to be murdered for what she was doing. I mean, she very much would be because of who the people that she could possibly expose here. Again, I mean, the person thinks guessing it's the Israeli PM, or I'm not sure. We'll play a bit more of the video, but a lot of people aren't named in there. But there's connections as to why they think they know it's this Israeli PM. But again, this woman knew too much. Again, if there was ever somebody who knew too much, it was this woman. And there's a lot of other girls out there who'll be in danger as well, to be honest, that were on Epstein's island that just aren't well known in the world. But again, they could be in danger for what they know if they're even still here at this point. Who knows? This is a real sick. I mean, it's Eyes Wide Shut again. Eyes Wide Shut. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman film. Stanley Kubrick. Eyes Wide Shut. Again, literally, this is what's going on in the background. Sick, satanic, seedy, paedophilic, all sorts of sacrifice and bullshit. And yeah, it's hard to believe, but this is really what goes on in the background. And this girl is proof of it, to be honest. So yeah, I find that very suspicious that she's took her own life before this book's come out. I really do.
Points at many very powerful people. She doesn't name very many names. I mean, in the book, she does name Prince Andrew, but there's others that she just alludes to. She calls them Billionaire 1, Billionaire 2, Billionaire 3, Prime Minister 1, a sadistic prime minister, soon to be governor of a Western U.S. state, and a former U.S. senator. These are the titles that she gave in the book, probably to protect the publisher, because she'd already publicly said who these people were in her testimonies and in her various different interviews. But in the book, she doesn't actually name those names. But different new details have come out in this book, and it is absolutely disgusting. I think just once again showing why so many people are demanding Epstein files. We want to know who these powerful people were, what kind of blackmail is on them, how compromised are they, and what are they, and what sort.
The blackmail is this. The blackmail is young girls and what they do to them and film it. And again, that's how they keep a hold of this. But they're in the club and a lot of them enjoy it. And yeah, and this, I mean, this honestly goes real. This goes right to the top and all the way through. Like, Jimmy Savile was nothing, absolutely nothing in this paedophile ring. Right to the top. You've heard prime ministers mentioned there. More than one Israeli prime minister is the sick prime minister. But another prime minister was mentioned. Prime Minister 1, Prime Minister 2, Billionaire 1, 2, 3. Again, this woman, despite writing in the book there, I mean, she done that to protect herself in many ways. I would imagine it didn't work because this woman is dead. So again, that's why it's very suspicious. Her death is completely suspicious in every single way, shape, and form. She knew inside that head who these people really are, and this goes right to the top. It really does. I mean, in my opinion, Trump's in the files there, and maybe not even in him. He's maybe above Epstein, as I've mentioned. Again, a lot more high profile, a lot more contacts, a lot more money. Beauty pageants on the go. Connect the dots here. Erica Kirk, Romanian Angels. It all seems to make sense, doesn't it? And Trump's a very powerful rich man. So, yet again, promising us the Epstein files and not releasing the Epstein files. So, I mean, I think it speaks for itself, to be honest. The proof's always in the pudding, and we haven't received the pudding. Well, I haven't received the pudding because the pudding is tainted, is the answer, isn't it, really? That's the answer.
Sort of decisions do they make on behalf of American citizens using taxpayer dollars because they themselves were actually blackmailed? This is the New York Post. They came out with Virginia Giuffre's beaten, raped by well-known prime minister in an attack that broke Epstein's spell. Her memoir reveals. This is the story from New York Post. Prominent Jeffrey Epstein victim Virginia Roberts Giuffre was brutally bloodied, beaten, and raped by a well-known prime minister in a series of savage encounters that finally helped the teenager break free from the sex trafficker's spell. In her posthumous memoir, Nobody.
I mean, I just like to pause it there as well. So we've had prime ministers mentioned, more than one. Billionaires mentioned, more than one. Royalty mentioned with Prince Andrew, and that's just the one mentioned. So to take a fucking good think about that here, we've got royalty, politicians, and billionaires. I mean, that's all the ruling class, the ruling elite, the powers that be. They're all involved. They're all involved. The book stopped at Jimmy Savile when they were exposing Jimmy Savile, but it went a lot higher than that, as she's telling you. But that's you know what I mean. You've got politicians, royalty, and billionaires, and you wonder why we're not getting the Epstein files. I mean, and that's not including the celebrities that are in there, the Hollywood celebrities, even the British celebrities, of which Jimmy Savile was one. All the BBC crack in England, there's a lot more of that that's in the background, I would imagine. So the same things in America, just hasn't been as exposed as much as what got sort of outed over here. There's a lot of people in this again, and this is how they keep control of it, and how we keep it quiet because, and this is why they killed Jeffrey Epstein, to be honest, because of what he knew. This is why this lass is probably dead because of what she knew. Yeah, well, it's these. I mean, you're fucking with very, very, very powerful people. It's like the Charlie Kirk thing, to be honest. Again, exposing the Charlie Kirk thing is very dangerous because they've went to a lot of trouble to kill Charlie Kirk, as you might have noticed. A lot of trouble has been gone to pull that off, to all the bullshit lies, to the guy who's apparently done it. It's all a big, 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 big job that's the broadcasting to the world. It's not an easy feat. So people fucking with the narrative, they don't like it because it can blow the whole thing wide open. So again, you've got to be very, very careful who you because you're dealing with the powers that be, as you can see. Like this is no joke. These the people she's naming here, prime ministers, politicians, billionaires, royalty. You know what I mean? Like these are the people that you can't go any higher than these people. Royalty. You know what I mean? Billionaires, prime ministers. These are the top of the lot. So again, and these are just the ones that she was involved in. There's multiple girls serving multiple men, and you can't pass her around every single person in the paedophile ring. No, she'll have only seen a certain amount of people. There'll be many, many, many more that she was never involved with and never seen. I mean, nobody can grasp the scope of this paedophile ring, really. Again, I thought Jimmy Savile was bad, and he was halfway up the list. Do you know what I mean? He hadn't even entered politics. He was just in celebrity status. So unbelievable, really. Well, very believable if you know what goes on. And people have tried to tell you this for years, to be honest, but nobody wants to listen. Cause don't get me wrong, it's not very nice, but how do you stop something if you don't shine a light on it? You know what I mean? That's the other thing. How do you stop it if you don't shine a light on it? So this is very important, to be honest. This is why I brought it forward. I seen that this last had made a book and Israeli PM with everything that's going on with Charlie Kirk, possible Israeli connections with it. You know what I mean? Um, it's the Israeli PM again, and this is all happening in America apparently on Epstein, with Epstein and Trump's American, but you've got Israeli and another prime minister in there. So again, kind of another proof that this is a worldwide paedophile ring with billionaires, royalty. I mean, there's more than the British royal family. There's plenty of royal families like the Dutch or the Spanish or whatever that still exists at this point. So you've got more royalty, you've got many, many more politicians, and again, these are just the women. Sorry, these are just the men that this woman was seen. There'll be plenty more. The list will be the Epstein list again. This is why we haven't got the Epstein list, to be honest. Absolutely why. And again, anybody who knows a lot about this, who actually knows and seen what happened, their life is in grave danger because they will go to the ends of the earth, by the looks of it, to protect this list. I mean, how this list even exists still is amazing to me. Surely this list's been deleted, you know what I mean? Depending on who's got a copy, but if anybody of worth's got a copy, why haven't we heard it? So why wouldn't you just delete it? Like this list is detrimental to the whole structure of the elites, to everything. To be honest, it's the chink in their armor, but it hasn't been exposed. But believe me, the names that will come out on this list these will shock the world. The celebrities from Hollywood will probably shock the world, from what I've heard. So yeah, let's hear a bit more anyway.
Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice. Giuffre recalls being begging Epstein to step in after the unnamed politician forced her to beg for her life. But the pedophile coldly told her it was simply part of her job. She says, after the attack, I couldn't stay a fool, having been treated so brutally, and then seeing Epstein's callous reaction to how terrorized I felt. I had to accept that Epstein meted out praise merely as a manipulation to keep me subservient. So who is she talking about? Well, we have some guesses based on some of the various different interviews and her testimony that she's done. When she talks about the sadistic prime minister, Giuffre describes an unnamed prime minister who raped her violently, choking her, choked her unconscious, laughing as she bled. She wrote that this man met her on Epstein's private island around 2002, and that Epstein later dismissed her pleas not to be sent back, telling her, "You'll get that sometimes." So when she said I was abused and he was really violent, he's like, "You'll get that sometimes." Giuffre never revealed the leader's nationality, explaining that she feared retaliation. No major outlet has definitively identified him. The reporting acknowledges speculation linking the description to an unnamed world leader in Epstein's circle. And that unnamed leader.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but some horrific information there again, like the abused and bleeding and told by Epstein. Yep, that'll happen sometimes, just brushed away. Again, these people were slaves in effect to this paedophile ring, and no one gave a fuck about them. They maybe pretended they did, but that's again not the way of it. So again, it's the woman of the face of the woman in sort of later years, and again, it was zooming in on her. I was just thinking, this woman's dead, eh? Like, this woman's now dead, and again, there's a very, very high possibility with who the people we're dealing with here. I mean, we've got to remember, Charlie Kirk was assassinated here, and it's an absolute shit show, Charlie Kirk. It's a shit show, and that's a man who was assassinated live for everybody to see. And he didn't know half of what this woman knew. He really didn't know half of what this woman knew. So if I'm led to believe that this woman's killed herself, I mean, I don't believe it already. I don't believe it because of who she was, because of what she knew, and who we were dealing with here. Again, billionaire 1, billionaire 2, billionaire 3, prime minister 1, prime minister 2, sadistic prime minister. Do you think these people with the power that she's telling you there, billionaires and prime ministers and Andrew royalty, do you think these people can't get you murdered? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, seriously, do you think these people can't get you murdered? And the answer is they very much can. They very easily can. And they probably have murdered this woman. Would be my opinion on the matter. I've not looked into it in any way, shape or form, to be honest. But with who we're dealing with and what this woman knew, it's absolutely already super suspicious. Absolutely super suspicious. I'd love a documentary. I maybe look at I'll see if I can find a documentary on this woman's death. But I mean, everybody else is probably thinking the same thing as I'm saying here now. This woman's died and apparently killed herself after living through all of that, getting through it, writing a book and seeking a justice for herself. She goes and kills herself. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe that she was getting somewhere, and the world was on her side, like me making this and the people listening to this. You know what I mean? We want the Epstein list. We want these people exposed. So the world was on her side. And then this is when I first listened to this and it said she was dead and she'd killed herself. I was just instantaneously, absolutely instantaneously, no, no. They've killed her. They've killed her. If you can kill Charlie Kirk live while he's doing a talk there, and we're still trying to figure out what the fuck's happened a month and maybe 6 weeks after it happened, we still don't actually know what's happened. Do you think they wouldn't kill this woman? And it's not even live in public. And the answer is, of course they would. Absolutely, of course they would. For what this woman knows and who she could expose, her life was always in danger, and it's a shit show, to be honest, that she hasn't been protected in some way by a few people and been looked after till because there was it's again of all the people you could want to murder for what they know, she's very high on the fucking list here, to be honest, because this Epstein crack and the Epstein files is massive. It's absolutely massive, to be honest, and she's well known for that photo with Prince Andrew, as we know. Um, Details sex abuse by, I know that's just 3 hours ago, or talking on the same subject. But I mean, I didn't know this woman had died. As I say, I didn't know she'd died. But fuck me, is that if that isn't suspicious, what is? What is? I'll play a bit more.
Is they believe that this is Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. And at the time, he was the prime minister when he was doing this. That is the allegation that people are pointing at. They're saying that it looks like it was actually him. Let me see if I can find the notes on this specifically. He was the prime minister of Israel from 1999 and defense minister from 1999 to 2001. Then he was the defense minister from 2007 to 2013. And yeah, they're saying that this is who they believe. They believe that the prime minister, Giuffre, refers to a well-known prime minister, also described as a former prime minister or former minister in reviews, who subjected her to one of the most brutal encounters in 2002 on Epstein's private island and aboard his plane. She details sadistic abuse, including repeated choking until she lost consciousness, beating that left her bloodied from her mouth, vagina, and anus, and rape that caused days of pain in breathing and swallowing. He reportedly laughed at her suffering, derived pleasure from her begging him to stop, and raped her more savagely than anyone had before. She begged Epstein not to send her back, but he dismissed it as part of the job. Giuffre states that she refused to name him in the book out of fear he would seek to hurt her. But the likely identity is former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Giuffre previously accused him by name in a 2015 to 2019 court filing of raping her, and the memoirs details.
I mean, personally, again, she didn't name him there because she thought her life was in danger, but these people have figured out who it is from her mentioning him before. I mean, again, does anybody else out there believe this woman killed herself really, or is it a lot more likely that she was murdered because she knew who these people were by name? She maybe didn't name them in the book, but she knows who they are, and once the book comes out, which it has, people could ask questions. She one slip of the tongue, names could be released. They wouldn't take that chance, to be honest. They really wouldn't. They look at why. This is why we haven't got the Epstein files at this point. So there's no two ways about it for me, to be honest. They've murdered this woman. They've absolutely murdered her for what she knew. And again, what you're hearing here, and this is just one person. This they believe to be the Israeli prime minister. So what else went down with other girls? Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is a big high level paedophile, sick paedophile ring. Again, Jimmy Savile was in this. This is part of the Jimmy Savile crack. But Jimmy Savile was in the middle of it. He's nowhere near the top of it, and it sort of, the book stopped at celebrities with Jimmy Savile and the BBC. We didn't get into the politicians, but believe me, there was a few in England that have highly suspicious and highly connected to Jimmy Savile as well. So again, the people didn't get to know the half of it with Jimmy Savile. They really didn't. They didn't get to know the half of it, and this is the other half.
Align with those claims of the timing, the location, and the violence. It all lines up. So these are details that were already out there publicly, but I guess she didn't want to put it in the book. Maybe because she didn't want the publisher to get sued or something. Barak was a close Epstein associate. He visited Epstein's island and New York properties multiple times, flew on the Lolita Express, received millions from Epstein for a security firm. Barak has vehemently denied any sexual involvement or knowledge of Epstein's crime, calling the accusations baseless. Okay. So potentially it was this Israeli Prime Minister, Ehud Barak. That is the allegation. In the book, she doesn't list him, but she has in the past in various different settings. She has accused him. And that is very disgusting and terrible. Who are the billionaires? She lists Billionaire 1, Billionaire 2, and Billionaire 3. She described being trafficked to unnamed billionaires as part of Epstein's network, where she and other girls were coerced into sexual encounters, including orgies on Little St. James Island. The memoir provides limited specific clues beyond their wealth and elite status, framing them as part of a multitude of powerful men Epstein used to curry favor. So these figures, she said they were businessmen or they were billionaires. They were she was hired out. She didn't really give any unique descriptors, but based on her prior accusations in unsealed Epstein documents, Billionaire 1 is likely Glenn Dubin, the hedge fund billionaire and co-founder of Highbridge Capital. Giuffre alleged in 2016 that she was trafficked to him for sex. He and his wife, Eva, were close Epstein friends. And Dubin, of course, all of these people deny that there was anything that was done. They all deny this. But I'm just sharing the people that she had already brought up in previous testimony, who these people might be in the book based on the testimony that she's already done publicly, or at least that's been unsealed. Billionaire 2 is likely Thomas Pritzker. She claimed in court filings that she was directed to have sex with him. He's denied any allegations. And Billionaire 3 is likely Leon Black. This is the private equity billionaire and Apollo Global Management co-founder, or Michael Ovitz, former Disney president and talent agency billionaire. Giuffre.
Former Disney there involved. So I won't play the rest of it, to be honest. If you want to watch the rest of it, I'm halfway through. It's 9 minutes of 19 minutes, another 10 minutes left if you want to go and watch it. I thought it was important to give it a mention for quite a few reasons, obviously. One, the woman's no longer alive. Two, the book come out. Three, she's naming billionaires, prime ministers and royalty in the book there. So again, an indication of how high this paedophile ring really goes. Again, mentioned many a time, Jimmy Savile was nowhere near the top. Neither was Epstein. Could Trump be in there? I mean, the probability is really fucking high, to be honest. Really high indeed. Especially if everything we're learning about Erika Kirk and the Romanian Angels is true after winning a beauty pageant for Trump. Could Trump be another one of the girls? You know what I mean? So, again, don't get me wrong, she's higher up than what this lass was in terms of she's not being used as a sexual slave. But she's been used in other ways, as we can see, more of a procurer of children again, like the getting young children apparently in Romania. So very suspicious. I'm not. I haven't got any proof of that, but that's the rumor that's doing the rounds. Again, after winning a beauty pageant for Donald Trump, there's a lot of dots here, but they're all sort of pointing in the same direction, if you know what I mean. And again, why haven't we got the Epstein files from Donald Trump after being promised them? Well, again, the pudding speaks for itself, and we haven't been given the pudding. So I'll leave it there, but I thought it was worth a mention. Again, there's more of this video, there's more horrific details, I would imagine, of what happened to this young lass at the time. I don't believe personally that this lass has killed herself. I believe she'll have been murdered for what she knows. She's naming very powerful people here who have the ability to get this woman murdered and have the money to get this woman murdered. So, again, and you do not fuck with the agenda and fuck with these people, is usually their crack. Again, the film Taken, I think it was, with in Paris, where his daughter gets taken to earn a daughter, and her mate ends up in like a crack house being raped, and the Virgin ends up on some luxury boat with some Arab billionaire, and this is kind of what's happening in the background, and they're using films to make it look like Hollywood, but in reality, this is what's going on in the background. So this is why Epstein was murdered. This is why this woman was probably murdered. Again, that they're trying to keep everybody quiet because this goes really high. Public opinion is everything. If public turn on all these people, they're in a lot of trouble. And the whole plan, the ultimate plan, the whole plan of what everything else that's happening will fall down as a lot of these people fall. So this could be the key to flooring the global elites, to be honest. This could be the key, the Epstein. We maybe need to push this more, to be honest. And again, this is why I made the video, because this woman's testimony in many ways is absolutely vital. And again, she was scared for her life, so didn't name anybody, but she's no longer here. Again, if you were scared for your life, would you then go and kill yourself? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really match. Why you wouldn't be scared for your life if you're going to go and kill yourself. In the end up, you might as well have named everybody. So it absolutely smacks to high heaven of this woman's been murdered, to be honest. But this is the people you're dealing with, the people who will rape children, kidnap people, abuse people, murder people. Again, let's not forget Charlie Kirk was murdered in public there, and that's an absolute shit show in the background of what really happened. So these are really the people you deal with. This is how high it really goes. Again, billionaires, politicians and royalty and prime ministers. It goes right to the top and all the way down. And it's going to take the public. And again, people like us and me and this woman Kim Iverson to get this information out there, because the mainstream media aren't going to do it. They're really not. Again, this is why you haven't got the Epstein files, and even if they did release them, the mainstream media, which they own, they will not tell you with the mainstream media that they're in the Epstein files and all these people, because this really does go high. So yeah, I'll leave it there. If you want to watch the rest of the video, Kim Iverson's the channel, 704,000 subscribers. Been a good video so far, very informative, and very important, very important. I'll leave it there. Peace.